What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. To focus in on Dylan McIlrath drawing in to replace Dan Boyle tonight as the Rangers take on the Winnipeg Jets. Some different facets going on here for the Rangers. Obviously, now the Dan Boyle contract and that $4.5 million cap hit is like, shit, what were we doing? But that's the nature of the beast in the NHL. You got to look back in your bad contracts and say, why did we sign an aging defenseman to that contract? Is what it is. But that probably isn't their biggest regret in this whole circumstance. Dylan McIlrath, the Wrath, out of the Moose Jaw Warriors of the Western Hockey League, who they took 10th overall in the 2010 NHL draft, 10th and 10. It was a bad move when it happened. He should not have been the 10th pick in that draft, particularly with a certain American defenseman by the name of Cam Fowler still on the board. Now, I watched that draft live, and I'm going, how is Fowler falling like he did? And in retrospect, I'm sure a lot of teams are like, yeah, why didn't we let him slide past us? To which the Anaheim Ducks say, thank you very much. I think a lot of the thing was, the organizational puck-moving power play quarterback is going to be Michael Del Zotto going forward. Del Zotto was coming off a year, pretty good rookie year at age 19. It looked like, he was going to be a big part of the Rangers' blue line going forward. Obviously, situation kind of deteriorated from there, and it would have been nice to have worst/best case scenario, have two good puck-moving defensemen and being in a position of strength. But instead of taking the kid from the Windsor Spitfires and U.S. development team, they took Dylan McIlrath, who has played a total of 3 games in the National Hockey League. And I get hindsight's 20/20, but that was a bad pick when it happened. I think unanimously everyone was like, "What the hell is Glenn Say?" thinking? And rather than having this kid turn out to be an absolute stud and be like, "Oh, we're wrong," it's like, no, we were right. We were right when it happened in June of 2010. He's not a player that should have been taken that high. Plain and simple. And you wonder, what could have been different if the Rangers had taken, Cam Fowler, or even like Jaden Schwartz 22 picks later. Vladimir Tarasenko went 6 picks later. So, yeah, that could have been a pretty interesting situation. But obviously, Glenn said they needed to have the goon from the dub instead of guys that could, help your team, put the puck in the net. So that's, the organizational, one of their not great decisions over the last 10 years. I mean, you look at since the lockout, the Rangers have been one of the best teams in the NHL. 2010 is actually the only year they've missed the playoffs since the lockout. So, yeah, they're really, for a team that's been on such a great organizational run, passing on Cam Fowler for Dylan McIlrath is their worst draft decision since passing on a lot of good players, Hugh Jessamine. I know Dustin Brown was one of them. I think Parisi was another one. Pull that up real quick. But I mean, you look at how good these Rangers teams have been. You add one of those really good players. I know with the salary cap, something would have to move, but worst case scenario, you get a very tradable asset as opposed to, what they have now, which is, Dylan McIlrath. Just want to look at some of the guys that got taken after. Jessamine, Dustin Brown, Brent Seabrook, Zach Parisi, Ryan Getzlaf, Brent Burns, Ryan Kessler, Mike Richards, Corey Perry. Decent players there. So, whatevs. Anyway, that's all I got to the Power Play with CJ on the New York Rangers, Dan Boyle, Dylan McIlrath situation. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the season and beyond. Later, guys.